To this end of the floor, and all eyes will be on Jarnell Stokes and how he can immediately make an impact in this game. He'll still look to facilitate, but he's got to look to score as well.
Nearly a triple team came to Stokes as it's rotated to Jabril TRAWICK. And that's it with LA. This is the job he wanted, and now he's got his squad on the brink of a championship. Stokes to Paolo. Good block by Gomes underneath, but it stayed.
Normally dominate the offensive glass. It was the Los Angeles team, the Skyforce, getting second chance looks early on. Will be a big difference maker.
Vanderblue nearly threw it away. Under 10 on the timer. The Jet had 16 points and 10 assists, a double-double in game 2. Justin Harper had back-to-back 21-point performances, misses his first look. Skyforce off to the races.
Beautiful break. The open court is where the Skyforce is just very efficient in their execution. See how hard they can run it. In Los Angeles, they want to play an up-tempo game, but again, how does that affect the minutes that these starters already put in with the shortened bench and the shortened rotation that Casey Owens has to deal with?
Transition game here for the Skyforce. Stokes, the trailer, puts it on the deck and gets to the rim for 2.
Good things always happen when you're in the middle of the floor, especially for a player like Stokes. We didn't see him make plays like that yesterday. He wasn't as aggressive. He was looking to pass off. I like the way that he's got his mindset on getting to the hoop early on.
First 2 games, it was LA that got off to a great start. Here in the decisive.
He's been spectacular in what he's been able to do. Known for his defensive ability, but offensively. He's a 3-and-D guy, can hit a three-pointer, but now he's been in more of attack mode, averaging just about 6 more free throw attempts per game during these playoffs.
Second-year pro out of Kansas State to Magruder, as the tone has been set here early in game 3.
Not a lot of love between these two teams, no surprise.
Vanderblue fades away. Justin Harper inside. 9 in a must-win game 2.
And they really haven't figured out a way to stop Vanderblue. We saw Magruder start out on Vander in game 1 and game 2. Now they're trying Liggins to see what he can do to slow him down.
Ryan Gomes over Jarnell Stokes.
And it goes without saying, at this point in the ball game, given the depth of the Skyforce, you got to make sure that you cut into this lead and don't let Sioux Falls gain confidence and get a comfortable lead to be able to use their bench to their advantage.
Casey Owens does not call an early timeout, allows his team to try to dig out of that 10-0 hole on their own. Harper in the corner, drains it.
That's what Harper does, and he has been very consistent in these finals. 21.7 rebounds in each of game 1 and game 2. But Jarnell Stokes spoke with us yesterday, and he said, I got to work on my contests. I got to make sure to get out quicker, hands high, and don't give these stretch bigs the type of looks that they've been getting.
That's his bread and butter, just backing down Harper to score once again in the painted area.
And when Stokes is so deep, it's hard to throw those traps and throws those extra bodies on him, and he's had his way early on.
We see the finished product, but how important is the location of the catch for Stokes?
Huge, huge. I mean,
Stokes, baseline drive, spins and scores.
I tell you what, he's showing off not just ability to be dominant inside, but they're just putting the ball on the floor, reading his defense. He said he's got strength, but also he likes to think that he's a finesse big as well. So a little bit of that with the foot speed.
Reset here for Vanderblue. Mismatch against Jarnell Stokes. He'll take Stokes to the rim, but missed the layup. Collapsing D by Sioux Falls leads to the transition opportunity. Magruder to Liggins. Now it's Paolo on the crossover, gets underneath. Offensive rebounds, an elite offensive rebounding guard is the way that Casey Owens, the LA head coach, describes Rodney Magruder. Good hands by Vanderblue, shields off TRAWICK. Gets it back, and puts it in.
Good finish to a botched up play by there with Vanderblue, but a nice job with his quick active hands to get that going. And a much needed point for this Los Angeles team.
Liggins, no good from three. Good box out of Stokes by Harper for the rebounds. Gomes to Andre Ingram. In and out from three. Ingram coming off of a 20-point performance in game 2, just 7 in game 1. He was an X factor for the defenders in that game 2 victory.
Yeah, and unexpected after he was quiet in game 1, struggled from the perimeter. And they're going to need him, though, to knock down some of those open looks outside. Miami, he's teaching these guys an understanding of what they're trying to do at the NBA level, and it's a trickle-down effect that it's certainly benefited the Skyforce team, and a big reason why they've been so successful.
Eric Spoelstra has been a bit busy as Sioux Falls comes up with the steal. Liggins shielding off Majet, and it's stolen back by LA, but Spoelstra and Craig have texted during these playoffs. Blue knocks down the mid-range too. And just bringing up Spoelstra's name to Coach Craig yesterday just brought a smile to his face.
It did, but you talk to anyone around the organization, the league, they said their work ethic is so similar, their demeanor, the manner in which they communicate and articulate to players. And Dad Craig said he loves the opportunity to not only coach teams, but just how to manage staff, how to delegate tasks.
The last two Sioux Falls head coaches are currently on NBA benches as assistants. The plan for Dan Craig was to come up here for a year, learn how to run a team, and then eventually finds himself back on the Miami bench.
Yeah, Pat Delaney
is 8. They jumped out to a 10-0 start to begin the game. Majet driving. The kick out to Harper. The outside shooting so important in game 2. It's not there in game 3. Vanderblue can't. Oklahoma City had a couple of stints overseas, and he thought this year his best option would be to play in the D-League. He joined LA in January and earned the Impact Player of the Year award for the D-League.
You can't ask for much more out of Ryan Gomes, and he said, I didn't want people and want myself to say, whatever happened to Ryan Gomes? Does he have anything left? He said, I wanted to leave the game on my own terms, and certainly not to say that this is the last year that he will be playing, but he put on a show for the D-League and for plenty to see during these playoffs.
Rodney Magruder scores to open up the second half. And so in Gomes, you're losing a big body, a big scorer, and a huge veteran presence that so many of these younger players looked up to.
I mean, he is a guy that has just shown a professionalism. And he said, I like to teach these guys what it means to play in the D-League, to be an NBA player, and what it means to be a professional.
Josh Majet on the pull-up.
And I don't care how many players that this Los Angeles team continues to lose, I promise you we're going to see them fight till the end, because we have seen that throughout the playoffs. Impressive in just their grittiness and the moxie that they bring to the floor.
DJ Shumpert taking the place of Ryan Gomes to start the third quarter. Justin Harper with a weak side block. And the shot clock expires. We mentioned the journey.
Early on his career in Boston, some of his best years there in Minnesota, ended up getting amnestied from the Clippers. And he said, that's where I started to decide, what do I want to do in my career? How do I want to leave this game?
DeAndre Liggins with the help defense. Defensive Player of the Year in the D-League comes up with a big block and a whistle away from the ball.
Is something to be said about the growth of the D-League, and also just a player maturing and understanding maybe where his career is at, what's left for him. And that's what he said. It was being older, it was being more mature, and it was making a decision during the first round and then in the finals against Austin. And just 2 points here tonight, a big piece missing for the Los Angeles team that relies so heavily on their starters.
The path to the championship for Sioux Falls has just opened up in a big way as Jarnell Stokes scores from the outside. His first bucket of these finals, not in the paint.
And you don't want to overlook Stokes and what he's trying to show in terms of extending his offense and improving his outside shot. It's going to be one of the biggest factors if he can be an NBA player.
Rebounded by Harper. Six on the timer. Majette out to Harper. Weak side rebound, Stokes. On the floor with 3 fouls. Magruder, Liggins, TRAWICK, Stokes, and Paolo. Shumpert rebounds, playing in the front court with Harper, Ingram, Blue, and Majette, the rest of the 5. Paolo crossover against Majette.
Paolo shows why he is so quick getting to the...
Even less from capping off the greatest regular season in D-League history with Sioux Falls' first ever D-League championship.
He told us records are made to be broken, championships last forever. He said we are proud of that record, but as soon as the regular season was done, we were done with it. We've had one goal throughout these playoffs, and these guys need to understand the moment that's at stake.
Inside to TRAWICK. Good ball movement by Sioux Falls. If you're LA, what can you do?
Well, trying to limit what the Skyforce has been able to do in side-to-side ball movement. They've done a good job, relatively speaking, after that first quarter of handling the inside with Stokes. But it is the ball movement that's got not just a good shot, but great job for the Sky.
In 3 games, Sioux Falls broke that record this season with 40 regular season wins, and now they're trying to take down LA for the title.
And a turnover there, but it's been a core of guys with the Skyforce team that it has created the depth that we see, but also the understanding of the offense, what Dan Craig is trying to run systematically, both defensively and offensively, and they executed so very well.
Collected by Sioux Falls. Jabril TRAWICK on the move. Liggins out to TRAWICK. Stokes from the outside.
Once again, it's that outside shot that he emphasized to us he's been working on, he's been improving, wants to show that he has more of just an inside game and that he could knock down that face-up 15-footer. And that's gonna be the biggest aspect that NBA scouts and GMs, coaches are gonna look at. Can he do more to pull defenders out, not only hit that outside shot, but also create more for himself inside because of it?
Makes the kick out to Paolo, and it lipped out. Blue wraparound pass. Holyfield puts it on the deck, missing the layup. Extra pass to Ingram, leans in for 2. And the tough shooting evening for LA continues here into the 3rd quarter.
You can't say it enough. You got to wonder how those minutes, the type of minutes these starters have played, not just during these final series, but the entire postseason has begun to wear on them.
Stokes with the mismatch against Blue, just shoots right over the top and connects again.
He's feeling it. 6 points in this 3rd quarter, and all 3 of those field goals have been perimeter face-up shots.
He told us that his game does include those types of maneuvers, but his team needed him to be a post presence, and that was what was going to win games. And on the final day of the D-League season, we're seeing a complete game for Jarnell Stokes.
It is, and he said that he came in to this year understanding the type of development he needs. He said, I didn't have that mindset my rookie year, but now I'm starting to learn habits. Nice little pass from TRAWICK to Paolo, but I'm starting to learn the habits I need to improve. And he said, I took it to heart, and I wasn't prepared my rookie year. I didn't come into the D-League prepared to really work on my game, and he said that's been the difference for me this year.
Lead is up to 14. Sioux Falls with Stokes in the lineup, 28-5 this season. Comes up with the steal, leads the 3-on-2, and gets held by Harper.
Undersized big man. I mean, his size, obviously, he brings a strength. He throws his body around. He goes after it on the boards. But the knock against him is his size. And it's not just that, because he can play in the league at that size with his strength. But he needs to develop that outside game, and it looks like he's starting to do that.
Pins Vanderblue.
2. But at this point, it's an uphill climb for this LA team, given their numbers.
TRAWICK, a 3. This Sioux Falls crowd starting to realize how close they are to a championship. 17-point lead. Harper had it knocked from his hands. And the bench.
Stokes told us yesterday one of his favorite parts is the way they're like brothers. They go after each other in practice. It's an effort to make one another better, but it's that close-knit feel that's made them sending second players at him, double teaming, trapping. And the Skyforce team is so loaded with potent scores that Stokes drawing that attention opens things up for his teammates. And it's just made this team so difficult to guard, and obviously a major reason.
Defensive rebound. Whittington opts to take more time off the clock. TRAWICK against Shumpert. Murray. Whittington with 7 on the timer. Works against Harper. TRAWICK for 3. Offensive rebound, Boo Paulo. Into the MVP, kick out Murray. Paulo takes it, defended well by Ingram, but he knocks it off of his own man. His choice was to come back to Sioux Falls.
Is that a major factor in that? Of course, the winning and knowing that this was a place where he can continue to improve.
Vanderblue working against Benson, blows right by him and then misses the layup. Just that type of night for both sides. Paulo to TRAWICK and an exclamation point here in Sioux Falls. Skyforce started every single playoff game, and Sioux Falls will end the postseason with a 6-1 record. Benson the block. Blue lines up for 3, well short. Numbers for Sioux Falls. The road in prior rounds. Vanderblue makes the layup, goes crashing into the crowd, and he's a bit slow to get up on the other end of the floor. He's starting to jog the other way. LA playing defense with just 4. Vanderblue trying to walk it off as TRAWICK got to the rim. Jamal Branch just checked in for the first time in these finals. Off glass and good.
This is the turning point in his career. He appreciates the confidence that he felt like he regained